Hello, art students. So you are someone who is watching this video because you have completed all of our housekeeping list, and you are ready to actually move on to your third WOW project. I'm going to tilt you down so that you can see some of the visuals of what you need to do next. Okay, you have two questions to ask yourself. Have I learned something new? And do I need time to explore? Every single WOW project has to get progressively better. If your first WOW project was like this, your next WOW project has to be just a little bit better. And the only way that is going to happen is if you've learned something new. So if you talk to yourself and you're like, well, I played at the Clay Center, but I didn't learn a new way to work with the clay. Or I played at the Drawing Center, but in actuality I didn't learn something new, then you're going to want to take some more explore time. But if you're like, yes, I learned something new. I went to the Drawing Center and I learned my paper didn't have to be white and I learned how to work on top of black paper. Well, then you'll be ready to move on. But make sure to take the time to learn something new. If you haven't learned something new, stop this video now and go do that. Okay, so you've learned something new. That means if you're in 4th or 5th grade, you need to document that new learning in your sketchbook. You need to include what center and what you learned. If it was at a 2D center, you actually have the work that you did while learning. If it was a 3D center, you've drawn out sketches and you've explained what you learned. Then, if you're in 3rd through 1st grade, just know that Miss Russ is going to ask you to explain to me what you learned. Okay, now you have to think about partners. There are 3 options for partners. Option number 1, you have the same idea but separate art. If you pick this version, so same idea, separate art, then you can have as many partners as you want. Each person makes their own art piece, but you come up with a common idea. And we're going to get into the theme in just a little bit. Option number 2, you have the same art but separate ideas. Now this is more complicated. So let's say I want to create a city and my friend wants to create a city on Mars, right? So we're really not the same idea. What we are going to do is we're going to get 2 separate sheets of paper, okay? Or if we were clay, we'd get 2 separate bits of clay. And then what we are going to do is we are going to create this space just like the 1 or 2 inches on the side and the 1 and 2 inches on the side where our 2 pieces of paper would touch or where our 2 pieces of clay would touch. That center space we are going to create together and we are going to agree on what that center space looks like. So when our art is together, boop, it looks like a puzzle piece meant to be together. But everything else is totally a free-for-all. We can create whatever we want. So that is separate ideas, but the same art piece. It will be displayed right together so it seamlessly looks like one thing. This allows each of us to take home art at the end of class. So does this one, or at the end of the time. So does this one. The third idea is harder because it's the same art and the same idea. This means one person's going to go home without art, and the maximum group you can have is 2. Now, how do we know who will take home the art? There will be a rock, paper, scissors competition. 2 out of 3 wins. Miss Russ will supervise, and once it's done, it's done. If you lose and you've spent months on an art project and you don't get to take it home, if that would make you sad, don't pick this. You are choosing to not take your art home if you pick this. If you want art to take home, you have to pick one of these other ways. Okay, once you've decided, am I going to work with partners? Now keep in mind, we've talked about this in class. You have to be someone that showed you're a leader of your learning. If you're not a leader of your learning consistently, Miss Russ won't let you be a partner because she's not going to put that on someone else. You have to be someone who's been a leader of your learning through the second WOW project and hasn't needed Miss Russ to guide you through. Then each person needs to fill out one project proposal. So if I am in a group of 2, we each have to fill out a project proposal. Then let's talk about filling out our project proposal. So where it says, oopsies, I hit my thing. Where it says who, you're going to put your name here. So go ahead right now and put your name here. Make sure, if you can, to put your first and last. Look at me right upside down. But if you have any partners, you're going to put their names down here or over here or somewhere around this bubble. You are going to write a P and then you're going to put equal sign and you're going to list off people that are in your group. First name for those people is just fine. Then you're going to jump down to where. You need to pick what center you want to go to. Then we're going to not worry about what media at this point. And we're going to wait on the number of days. Then I'm going to have you flip it over. And I need you to go ahead and draw out a sketch. I'm going to label it A, of what your idea is. Then, after you draw out A, you're going to get feedback. Now, the feedback can't be, if you have a partner, the feedback cannot be from your partner. It has to be from someone not in your group. That person is going to check off, they're going to check on your paper that they did these 3 things, and they're going to write their name. You want to make sure that your name ends up on somebody else's paper. You can give person more than one piece of feedback. So if someone's like, I've already gotten feedback, you can just add your name here so you make sure you've had a chance to give someone feedback. With that feedback, you are then going to create version B. This is going to be new and improved. After that, if you have a partner, you and your partner are going to talk. You're going to share out, what feedback did I get? How did my idea evolve? And then you and your partner are going to come up with that final idea. If you're going to work using the Architecture Center or the Sculpture Center or the Mixed Media Center, you might need to draw it using Form 2. Remember that if I were to build, let's say, a house, I couldn't just draw my house because that's not the pieces I'd have to cut out. I would have to draw out, well, I need 2 pieces for the roof and I need 4 walls, right? We'd have to draw out all the parts that I would need to make. Once you have a version A, feedback, a version B, partner talk, and a version C, you're going to come see Miss Russ, where we are going to decide what art magic are you using, do you have the skills needed to complete that art project, and I'll let you know how many days you have to work on your idea. You're going to do that by taking a number. This conversation can take a long time, and I want to respect that if a group needs 5 minutes for us to figure this out, then we're going to take those 5 minutes, which means once you take a number, you can go explore. You have your idea. Go ahead and start trying to make little pieces of it or make a small version, but take that time to learn some more so that once you get to build your idea, it goes faster. That was a lot of information. Miss Russ is going to have resources available for you in the class, and she'll also have explained what type of WOW project we are doing, which, spoilers, you are going to be making a project where you invent it. Bye.